As we welcome in Mike Robinson from Game Day Nation, from the UT football sidelines. And Mike Rob, this past June has been what June was supposed to be like.
Yes.
2020, 2021, we couldn't have a real high school football, college football camp season because of we know why. This June, we got back to a normal situation. Plenty of camps the last couple of weeks. Who have you seen that has impressed you?
You know, Mark, it's just been great to see all the kids camping at Toledo, and all the other camps around that state. You know, the one thing that a lot of these younger players who are now older players, we'd say, because they missed those camp seasons, they're juniors and seniors, and for 2 years, they hadn't been able to get on that circuit. And for the college coaches as well, they hadn't had an opportunity to be able to welcome those kids onto their campuses. And so now these camps are flooded, 400, 500 kids at these places, and a lot of new names and faces, and a lot of good underclassmen prospects, especially in this Toledo area. And you want to talk about Toledo football, they got them a nice bunch of kids from this area signed and committed already.
Yeah, several verbals from the local high school scene have verbal to the University of Toledo, including a pair of Perrysburg Yellow Jackets and Braden Alls from Central Catholic as well.
Let's talk about Connor Walden, Zach. I mean, you talk about a kid committed to do what he loved, baseball, big-time baseball player. I believe he was committed since he was a freshman or a sophomore early in his career, and then he made a decommitment. We talked a little bit about that before we got out here. One thing that I like about it is he chose to stay home, and he chose to play a sport that he can excel at. On the football field, I always had a conversation with Connor, like, man, why are you playing baseball? You know, we know they don't give full scholarships. They don't give that money like that. But for a kid that has a 32 ACT, you know, high GPA guy, and just a high-care, high-quality guy, he fits right into what those Rockets are doing. And they're smart to hop on Zimmerly as well, because you lost Cade Zimmerly. That's a loss in my opinion, because he's tough, he's fantastic. He's an All-American as a freshman, right? Walk on. And so you got to grab baby brother who's a few inches bigger, a few pounds heavier. They're going to develop him and make him a great offensive lineman for them too. And then Braden Alls, I mean, he is a special talent. He's a really freaky athlete in that secondary. He could play corner. He's rangy. He could play safety. So I'm not sure where he's going to fit in the scheme, but they're going to love having him over there too. And can't forget about Sam Smith from out in Waseon. He is a big body wide receiver, and he's going to make an immediate impact for the Rockets.
Who are some of the sophomores becoming juniors that we should keep an eye on as we come into August of the high school football season? Who have you seen this summer that are guys we need to keep an eye on when we get into the varsity season?
Let's just take it over to Whitmer now. You know, Whitmer, this big powerhouse of a program, they are growing and growing and growing, and that's because they got open enrollment. One of the big players that's been there is Justin Breaker. Breaker is one of those hard-hitting, knock the snot out of you, come downhill safeties. He's one of the kids that's premier defender in this area. He's someone you got to watch. He's someone that's going to make a lot of waves, not coming into his junior year, but sophomore year. Quarterback Brady Ford, he's another developing talent. He's got one Division I offer, but he's a guy that can really step in and fill that role. We saw last year he got to make a few starts, one versus Clay. He showed up really well, played in a lot of other games. He's got a lot of time, but this is going to be one special talent that we got to keep our eye on. But you don't let me jump off the bandwagon here, because I like this Whitmer program, and I like that they got all the key tools and pieces set up for this season.
Final season for the Three Rivers Athletic Conference. You're talking a lot about Whitmer.
Yeah.
Finley Trojans. They are a team I saw a poll, they are one of the favorites perhaps to win the Division I state championship. We know about Luke Montgomery. We know about Ryan Montgomery. They're not the only talent down there for the Trojans.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, this Luke Montgomery and Ryan Montgomery combination, I mean, we've known about those guys for years. It's the others that step in. You talk about guys like Yeager, or Ashton Yeager. He's another big defensive lineman. He's going to step in there. Reese Little, he's a guy that's coming around. But that team is just loaded. I'm going to break into more of them now. I'm not going to get too much onto that team, but they do really have a shot, especially to make it run in the playoffs. State championship, now, that's wishful thinking, in my opinion, but they do have some key pieces, and if you got a quarterback, you can win any game.
A couple different types of camps during the summer. There's the camps where you go to university and try and show what you can do to a college. There's also the camps where the pros come back home. We saw that with Chris Wormley. We saw that with Micah Hyde. And coming up in a few weeks, two of the new pros from Toledo, Brian Koback and Tyson Anderson, will be hosting a camp. Fourth and Goal Athletics will be part of that. Tell us about that.
I'm excited about this one here. The Wormley camp sold out in a couple minutes. It wasn't that fast for this one. It's all sold out now. But this camp here that we're having here for Brian Koback and Tyson Anderson is just a celebration of Toledo football in the 419 area, BCSN, anybody that's a part of this, because we got to watch those two young men in high school do what they love. We got to watch them at the collegiate level, continue and strive at the highest level. We got to celebrate these guys. anytime that a basketball player, a football player, soccer, whatever sport it is, we need to celebrate them so that the young youth athletes of this area can see that there is an opportunity to take their talents to that next level. So to see Kovac signing with the Vikings, seeing Anderson getting drafted to the Bengals, and having them here for a free football camp, that's going to make a huge impact on a lot of young kids in this area. I've gotten a million phone calls because people, parents, and all alike just want to be there and see them and support them before they head off into their first year of NFL football.
Thank you very much, Mike Robinson. It is July 1st. You know what that means. August is right around the corner. High school football is right around the corner. We're looking forward to having this guy back with Game Day Nation coming this fall.